All right, so you should have this in front of you with your name on it, of course. And I'm going to read about the Adena tribe first. Here we go. Turn to the right page. Let me make this bigger. Let's get started. Adena culture. This tribe, it's believed that they were a tribe during 800 BC and 1 AD. That would be the very first year. Um, if you want to look up timelines, you can look up why we do the timeline like this, but there was a time before the one, and that was 800 BC. Anyway, location. The Adena culture lived in the Midwest and southeastern Indiana, southern Ohio, southwestern Pennsylvania, and the western part of West Virginia. Shade these areas on the map below. Trace the river they probably used for water, and food, right? Because it would be the fish there. So if we were going to shade it in, let's see, southeastern Indiana, which would be southeastern. Remember, we have that compass rose, northeast, never eat soggy waffles. So if I'm doing southeastern, it'd probably be right about here. Southern Ohio. So here's Ohio. This is the southern part of Ohio. Southwestern of Pennsylvania. So here is Pennsylvania. And if it's southwestern, it'd be about right here. And the western part of Virginia. Again, the western part would probably be about right here. So there is the area we believe that the Adena culture was. Trace the river. It's probably this Ohio River, to be honest, right? That Ohio River that starts right there in Ohio a bit, and it goes all the way through Indiana. Big river we learned about. Geography. The land of the Adena was originally covered with trees. The darker areas on the map show where mountains were located. Were there any mountains in the area where the Adena lived? Yeah, it looks like Appalachian Mountains are right here. What rivers were there? Well, we see the Ohio rivers there. Climate. The Adena lived in an area with temperate climate with 4 seasons. The summers were hot and the winters were very cold. Homes. The Adena people lived in circular wooden homes with cone-shaped roofs made of wood or bark. They lived with 15 to 20 members of their extended family. Can you imagine having that many people in one house? Goodness, that's a lot. All right, let me make sure I'm doing good on time. Looking okay. I might have to read fast here. All right. Adena culture. The Adena people were hunter-gatherers. They also grew a few crops such as squash, tobacco, pumpkins, and sunflowers. They moved around a lot to follow food sources such as buffalo, plants, and nuts. They also traveled to trade with other groups to get copper and shells. Mound builders. The Adena people were the first mound builders. They buried their dead in mounds that can still be found today. They have found jewelry and tools near these mounds. These mounds were also probably used for ceremonies. The mounds could be quite tall. The highest mound is located in West Virginia and is 69 feet high. Wow. Society. The Adena people lived in permanent villages with mounds nearby. Extended families lived together in one house. Several of these family groups formed clans. 4 to 6 clans made up one group of Adena people. All right, beliefs. Based on the artifacts left behind, the Adena might have believed in shamanism. A shaman is a leader who had spiritual connection to animals and other parts of nature. The shaman was believed to have been able to heal the sick by talking to spirits. Tools and art. The Adena people were the first people in the region to create clay pottery. They made thick pots for cooking and flat pieces to grind seeds and nuts. They made pipes, axes, and spears out of stones, bones, and antlers. Ooh. The art of the Adena people was often based on the transformation of humans into animals. That is a belief right there that they believed in. They carved pictures of animals into stone tablets. It is believed that the Adena used these tablets to stamp designs on their clothing and their bodies. They made combs and jewelry out of copper, bones, and antlers. Very interesting. All right. That was the Adena culture.